You're listening to Cards to the Moon, a podcast about trading cards from both a collector and investor perspective. We hope you'll stick around for the ride as we take a deep dive into the state of the hobby, share some hot takes, hopefully some useful advice, and fun stories along the way. Hey guys, welcome back to Cards to the Moon. This is episode 376, and my name is Clark from 5cardguys.com. You can also find me at 5cardguys on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, and on TikTok. Co-hosting with me today is Will, who is at TopRowPop on IG, and Roy, who is at Mino_cards on IG as well. All right, off the top today, since Will and Roy are here, let's talk about new set releases in the Pokemon and WWE world. I just want to ask you guys, are there any cards or boxes that are worth checking out? And any new ones announced recently, which might get more buzz later in the year? So, Will, I'll throw it to you first. Any WWE products, sets?
Yeah, there's one that just released this past week, Topps Chrome Cosmic, which is a set that's become very popular with all the major sports, especially baseball. And I think this year basketball and football have Topps Chrome Cosmic. And so they've got a wrestling version of it. I was kind of excited about it. You know, a lot of these releases are first-year releases. The general reaction from a lot of the WWE hobbyists are a little bit mixed on it. I had one friend of mine equate it to Cactus Jack, and I was just like, those are some harsh words.
Critique.
But yeah, over the last couple months, we've had some pretty good releases, like the Topps Royalty. I think we talked about that with the WrestleMania patches and stuff like that. So it's been a nice couple months of releases. I don't know if there's anything scheduled to come out anytime soon, so we might hit another little bit of a lull in wrestling collecting, which should then increase interest in all the sets that have released before. Okay. Yeah.
I want to go back to Topps Chrome Cosmic because I do agree that it's kind of a slow burn, because when it came out for baseball, I'm like, what is this? Like, you could get a Saturn, Pluto, like all these different planets, Jupiter, parallels. And, I remember kind of, rolling my eyes, but a year and two, I'm telling you, man, I'm like, this is kind of cool. I kind of want and then it's like the distance from the sun is
the rarity.
That's kind of interesting.
Rarity level. Yeah. So Pluto, very rare. And then Mercury, more common than the other planets. So all these little things kind of I find appealing all of a sudden. So maybe that's the same thing for wrestling card fans out there. It might be something to get used to.
Yeah, I feel like that's the problem with Cosmic. It just doesn't have enough good publicity. It doesn't have enough good marketing. Right. I think the cards look really good. The artwork is really nice. One of the cool things about wrestling cards is different artworks or different sets will have a wrestler maybe with a championship belt or without the championship belts. So I feel like anytime there's a card that has the wrestler that I like and they're holding a championship belt, it kind of just increases the likability and the collectability of that card. And so, like, for example, Io Sky is a big PC collection of mine. She's got one of those Cosmic cards where she's holding her championship belt. So, yeah, I like the artwork. I think it just needs some better publicity. It needs time for people to catch on. And like you said, nobody knows about the planet thing. And I feel like people don't even know how rare some of the cards are.
That's true.
So that means it's time to just scour eBay and pick up all the rare cards.
I think a lot of smart people are scooping up a lot of stuff, but then it's like after a while you feel like you're taking crazy pills, right? Like
stocking up on Pluto.
Yeah, man, I've got like 52 Plutos, but nobody seems to be outbidding me on any of these. Like, I haven't lost an auction.
You gotta have conviction. You gotta
stick to your guns.
That's right. Cool. How about Pokemon World? Any new releases?
Yeah, so
I know there are.
In Japan, Abyss Eye just came out, which is like the Mega Darkrai set. Darkrai.
Okay.
And then I guess Pitch Black, which is the equivalent in the English.
Yep.
The pre-order just happened. I think it was last week or something. So that should be coming out, I think, sometime in July or maybe even August. But after that set, it's going to be it should be the Mega Rayquaza set, which is going to be a huge set to chase. So, and then after that, there's the 30th anniversary as well. I don't know which one's going to come first in English, but those are the two next sets. So the past 3 sets, I think it was Pitch Black, Perfect Order, and Chaos Rising. Those are kind of like, after Phantasmal Flames, those are the next sets after. So after a big hype, there's kind of like a, I guess,
meh.
Exactly, a mess sets, like not too much hype. The chase cards aren't the greatest. Mm-hmm. They're still enjoyable, but compared to all the sets prior and then what's going to be coming out, I think it's like the perfect, you save your money not buying those 3 sets, and then you save them for 30th anniversary and the Mega Rayquaza set whenever that comes out. So that'll be exciting. But in terms of what has released now, again, Pitch Black. So it's doesn't tickle my fancy.
But you know what? I was trying to get Pitch Black, couldn't do it. People are still buying like crazy.
Yeah, I know. I mean, pre-orders is pretty easy to get. Like today, there was I think there's a in-stock prismatic drop.
Oh, I didn't get a text message.
I didn't either. Because by the time I even knew about it, it was already sold out. So I knew when the queue hit, and by the time I entered the queue, it was already sold out. There's no point messaging you guys.
Roy is letting us down. No,
I know. Sorry, guys. But in terms of sets, skip Pitch Black, save your money for 30th, and the Rayquaza set whenever that is.
Rayquaza, that's a huge character.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, thanks for that. And on the sports side of things, I'll just wrap up this off the top. I ordered the 2026 Top Series 2. I got a jumbo box, so that's going to ship out to me soon, and I'll rip it on camera so you guys can see which awesome relic card that I got, and which no-name auto. But we'll see what I get from that jumbo box. I also got the 2026 Topps Chrome V Friends, the Mega Box. I'm telling you, V Friends, I don't know what Gary V's doing, but the drops, they're selling out quickly. He's a marketer too, right? So he's getting the word out there.
Yeah, and the only reason some type of bounty as well, like a 6-figure bounty on one of the cards.
Yeah, there's like an Erupt, which is like the equivalent of a Kaboom subset, and there's a Superfractor version of the very, very, very lucky Black Cat or something like that, right? And 6 figures on that card already, yeah. And the only reason why I was able to get a Mega Box, I couldn't even get a hobby or I don't know if he has a jumbo, but I couldn't even get a hobby box, was I have my good old NFT that gives me one allocation of a Mega Box. So that's coming to me as well. And I'll also rip that on camera and see what hits I get. But yeah, and one more thing, 2026, I just saw this on my email from Topps, 2026 Topps Dynamic Duels Baseball. And I believe this is a brand new set they're coming out with starting this year. Who knows if they'll come out with it next year, but it has a dual autograph card per box, and the dual autographs that you can get can be 2 teammates, like the Mookie Betts and Shohei Ohtani card, or 2 players on the same team, past and present, like Ellie De La Cruz and Barry Larkin, or George Brett and Bobby Witt Jr. And then you could get other variations of dual cards, top rookies, things like that. So it kind of looks cool. I don't know what it retails for. It didn't say the price, but it is going to be released mid-July, I believe. So might be of interest if the price is right for, like I said, the 2026 Topps Dynamic Duels baseball set. Okay, let's move on to hobby headlines. All right, in today's discussion, it's centered on one question. All right, and that question is, has the hobby officially crossed over to the mainstream? Or another way of asking this question is, guys, are we, as collectors, officially cool? All right? Because in all seriousness, I'm asking because week after week, I'm seeing more and more of the hobby in the news, more and more famous celebrities and athletes ripping packs. I sent this article to you guys off air. It was published a couple weeks ago on ESPN.com that MLB players aren't just ripping sports cards in the clubhouse, which we've covered on the pod before, but now they're ripping Pokemon cards. Like we talked about Jacob Mizurowski, of course, who's a Cy Young candidate. Chris Sale, another Cy Young candidate as well this season. And there's a funny story about Chris Sale in the article, which I'll bring up in a minute. But there's also Karl Anthony Towns, who just won the NBA championship with the Knicks. And he's been ripping, as we know, high-end WWE packs all throughout the finals, apparently. And he's trying to get that, I think we talked about this. He's trying to get that John Cena WrestleMania patch auto. And if that wasn't enough, Kat, along with YouTube star Jesser, who I know because my son watches his videos, both of them will be ripping packs with Ken Golden later this month. Kind of what Logan Paul did with Ken Golden that one night when all the big auctions end. So I know we touched upon this before a bit on the pod, but I want to ask again, are we at the point now that there's enough high-profile celebs that the stigma of collecting as a nerd's hobby is gone? Or do we still have a ways to go? Or do we even want this kind of attention on the hobby? What are your guys' initial thoughts on everything that's transpired in the last few weeks?
So I think when I was growing up, collecting cards, like baseball cards, was actually a very cool thing to do. Like, I don't know any boys who didn't collect cards.
Sure.
And, we grew up in the 90s, so it was junk wax era. So those cards were everywhere. So I never felt like it was like a nerdy thing to do to collect baseball cards. And then when it comes to Pokemon, like, sure, you can say, oh, like, it's an anime, it's a cartoon and whatever. But it's like, I don't know what kids didn't grow up watching cartoons and loving cartoons. So, like, it's getting back in touch with your childhood. And I never feel like that's a nerdy or geeky thing to do. And I feel like there isn't really that much of a stigma left in terms of that part, like collecting. Like, okay. I think it's always been cool. I think there's certain segments of the hobby.
I think your circle's just really small, Will.
No, but like think of like even for you, Roy, you grew up playing hockey.
Yeah.
Like hockey, like are hockey players like typically jocks are the more popular kids in school and whatnot and all that stuff. Definitely, you were ripping hockey cards and you grew up with hockey cards.
Yeah, they're ripping. Hockey players would rip hockey cards, but if you told your hockey teammates that you're ripping Pokemon or Yu-Gi-Oh or whatever, they'll be like, "You are a nerd," or "You're a loser." You get those types of comments because it's not considered cool, right?
You're saying the exact opposite.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I guess I grew up with such a different childhood. It was just like,
well, it's just like, I mean, childhood is different because whatever you do, it's, you do it with your friends. And collecting baseball cards, you probably did it with all your friends, so that seemed cool because you're already within your circle. But as you get into an adult, and your friends or your peers hear that you're spending thousands of dollars, tens of thousands, on sports cards or Pokemon cards, they're going to think you're crazy, or they're going to think like, what are you doing why are you wasting your money like that? Because, $15,000 card you're buying, you could, pay your mortgage. You could, put your kids into private school or, pay, go to a nice dinner, go on a vacation.
Sure. You're talking about adults though. Like when you're like,
isn't that what we're talking about right now?
No, I'm just saying, like, growing up as a kid, I never felt it was uncool because everyone collected some sort of card. And then as a teenager, it's like, yeah, maybe you fall out of collecting a little because you're more interested in chasing girls or guys or
exactly.
Then
it becomes, then it becomes uncool because you're not going to go to a girl and like, yeah, I'm still
Yeah, but it's
Collecting,
not. It's not
Topps series,
it's not
Topps
uncool.
baseball
You
cards.
just like lose interest, and then when you're an adult, and if
Well, you
somebody
lose
comes to me, if somebody came to me and was like, "Oh, like why are you spending $15,000 on this card or whatever?" It's like, yeah, you know what? I bought a $15,000 card, and now I sold it for $250,000, and I'm rich.
Let's not go there.
Yeah,
Let's not
it's
go
like-
there.
It's like if my friends who got into like investing in stocks at an early age, if I'm like, oh, you nerd, you spend time on your computer pressing numbers and making money. It's like,
No, but the making money is hindsight. It's like crypto.
Yeah.
You know, you were probably like, why are you spending your money on digital currency when it was like 50 cents? And you're probably scoffing at them. And then, 10 years later,
it's
they're
like,
they're
but
laughing
when they're
at
an
you,
adult,
right?
when you're an adult, like, what do you care? Like, I stopped caring about what people think at a very
Not everyone is as secure as you. Okay, well,
Yeah. Maybe that's the problem. I live in my own world. I enjoy my world. I shape
Will
my
is-
world how I want.
totally confident guy for sure.
I have a
But I
great
mean-
time.
But
So maybe I'm the wrong person to ask. It's never been uncool. It'll never not be cool to me. I love it. And I'm glad all the athletes, I'm glad Cat's collecting. I'm glad, like, you're looking at the studs of every sport. They're all collecting,
yeah, but I mean, when you see some of these interviews, I think there's a recognition that it's pretty nerdy and pretty uncool until fairly recently, which is why I'm bringing it up. Because even the fact that we're lucky that we're able to make money in this hobby. Because if it was a money losing thing, we'd be all losers still.
Yeah,
Like,
and
people wouldn't get it.
that was a hobby like, 5-6 years ago. It's probably a not money-making hobby. Like, you really have to hustle to make the
Yeah.
money.
Yeah, I'm just
Exactly.
I'm the wrong person. I'm just like I'm so what's the word? I just like live and let live, Everyone just do what they want to do, like it's fine.
But, like,
Sure.
to go back to that, I don't think we're there yet, even though these superstar athletes are, getting into sports cards, Pokemon cards, just the hobby in general, because what people see, like, if they see Cat ripping cards and they're not into cards, they're just gonna scroll on to the next reel, like, and it's as if it never happened. So the exposure is, is getting there, but I don't think it's to the point where it's like, oh, sports cards are cool. I think people are still thinking, okay, it's a hobby, you do it for fun. Some people's hobbies are making pottery. Some people is, making, collecting sports cards. But at the end of the day, it's a hobby. So they're not going to jump into it and be like, okay, I'm going to spend my money. And if they do, it's not because of these athletes. It's because they hear, the return on investment of, I bought a Shohei for $1,000. Now it's $15,000. So they're like, oh, you can make money. So they're going to get into the hobby because of the money aspect rather than the mainstream aspect of these celebrities or athletes. But it's definitely helping for sure. But I don't think we're there yet.
Yeah.
For sure.
You know how they were saying, like, I forget who was it? Was it Michael Rubin who said he wanted to 10x the hobby? Who said that?
Yes.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of people took that as like 10x, like in terms of profitability. But I think what we have to think of it is like almost like 10xing the hobby in terms of interest and how much it's in our culture. And so I think in a lot of ways he's been accurate. He's been true. The hobby really is growing. But I realized as we were talking, I will know exactly when cards are cool. It's because there's only one person in my life who calls me a loser, and that's my wife. And so when our wives, when Clark's wife and Roy's wife and my wife are
subscribe to this podcast.
when they start listening to the podcast and
Then you
they
sell.
create their own Wives of Cards of the Moon podcast, that's when I'll know that this is actually cool.
Well said. I agree 100%. That's a good gauge for sure. But but yeah, no, I want to go back to what Roy, you were mentioning about, people getting into a hobby because they realize they can make money. But I feel like it's not mutually exclusive with seeing celebs coming into the space, because I feel like a lot of these high profile celebs are coming into it because they could see that they can make money and they already have money to start with. So they're the more high risk, high reward.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
kind of
for
clients,
sure.
right?
I mean,
Collectors, yeah.
I'm not saying that having these guys rip in front of an audience isn't bringing more people to the hobby, because it definitely is. But to the point of, is it mainstream yet? I don't think we're there yet.
Fair. That's fair. And just to add, I'm kind of going all over the place, but just to add to what Will was mentioning and how he would know when the hobby's cool, with our wives getting into it, which may probably never happen. But when even I was walking home from school, dropping off our kids, and then I saw my neighbors, and so they live 3-4 houses down from where I live, and I'm like, hey, I'll just walk back home with you guys, and we're talking, and I don't know why, but I'm still sheepish about talking about what I do. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, yeah, I'm a content creator for what? Yeah, for trading cards, or like I always say sports cards, and they're like, what, sports cars? Because that's much cooler. Sports cars are much cooler than sports cards still. And you can see how they were like really impressed for half a second until I corrected them. And I'm like, no, like I mean baseball cards and things like that. They're like, oh yeah, cool. Ironically, that's how many of them will respond. But
imagine what I say. It's like they ask me, oh, what do you do? Collect Pokemon cards? Oh yeah, so does my son. I'm like, okay.
Oh, I've had those conversations too, and then I have to I feel like I have to justify myself by saying these are worth $20,000.
Yeah. I mean, I don't care at the end of the day, but it's just I'm not bragging, saying I buy and sell and collect Pokemon cards, but for me it's fun. It's a hobby, and if I can monetize it, it's even better. So.
For sure. It's I agree with you too, though. It still feels niche, but it's getting bigger. I think that's something that we can agree on. But one major con, I want to go with the pros and cons, but one major con that I could think of for all these high profile celebs and just this attention on the hobby is that it tends to inflate the price of everything, right? Like, you have all these rich people, wealthy people pouring their cash on high-end product, causes hype, of course, and then it could also increase demand in general because everyone wants to get into the hobby. There are these big ticket sales. You see them all over Instagram, all over social media. Oh, and this is a good segue to that one funny story I was alluding to off the top. When Logan Paul sold his Pikachu Illustrator for $16.5 million, in the article, in the ESPN article, Chris Sale, who by this time he has I think he said he had 2,000 slab Pokemon cards. So he got into it pretty deep pretty quickly. And at that sale of the 16.5 Pikachu Illustrator, he said he joked with his wife that he was the winning bidder. And for a second, his wife believed him because he thought he was crazy enough to do that. But yeah, going back to my point, with all this money coming into the hobby, do you think the hobby's becoming too expensive for regular collectors? Even Kat, he bought a case of WWE Royalty, the high end set you mentioned earlier, Will. And it feels like only someone like that can afford to do that, right? So what do you think about that part of the hobby? All these rich, wealthy collectors coming into the space, are they ruining it for us, in other words?
Not everyone gets to go to the Maldives. Not everyone gets to fly to the moon in a spaceship. Mm-hmm. Not everyone gets to rip National Treasures or Topps Royalty. There's something for everyone in the hobby. If you have champagne tastes, but a beer budget, you're buying Coors Light. You're buying Molson Canadians. You can't be getting that high end stuff. And there is something that will satisfy your need. There is something that you'll fall in love with if it's truly about collecting. If it's about, oh, boo-hoo, like, I don't get to have what other people have. I mean, that's just the reality of life. So you gotta embrace that. Because if none of the rich people were collecting, yeah, maybe you'd get that card, but it'd be $20 and you would probably not value it very highly, right?
That's
everyone. It's like going to the gym. Everyone starts somewhere, right? There's the good jack guys, and then the newcomers. No, if you make fun of the newcomers, they're gonna leave, right? If you help and support them, and you tell them that you got to start small, work your way up, you can get there. And it's like it's the grind, it's the hustle. If you hustle hard, with a beer budget, as Will was saying, you could get to that champagne. Maybe not,
Yep.
the highest of high, but you could start ripping packs or buying packs or whatever it is, and enjoy the hobby like everyone else. You just have to grind.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
great advice from Will and Roy. That's why I want to bring it up, because I know that's a common complaint out there, right? And you got to put everything into perspective. That's for sure. I got another con that I kind of hear a lot is, and we've been talking about this the last few weeks on our pod, is the demand on grading. So a lot of these athletes are actually partnering with PSA, and they all know the value of PSA 10 cards now. And, them just really getting into grading isn't doing anything to relieve the backlog, which I believe is still at 14 million. I checked yesterday. It's stuck at 14 million. So it's going to be another 8-9 months if you just submitted it recently. But, the reason why I bring this up, because in that ESPN article, once again, another story about Chris Sale was that he pulled, when he got into Pokemon again, I think it was his brother-in-law that got him into it. He was pulling a base set, I think a 1999 base set, and he got a Rayquaza fresh out of the pack. And he said he submitted it right away. Like, fresh out of the pack. He was sure he would get a PSA 10, came back a PSA 8. Okay? And he said he was so obsessed with getting like a better grade, cracked it, resubmitted it, I think 3 or 4 times.
Wow.
The 4th time he got a PSA 9. Okay, so I feel like I want to ask you, how do you feel about that when you hear stories like that? Just the resubbing and just wait,
Yeah, I'll reserve my comments for a little bit later in the pod when we approach this topic again. Yeah.
Okay. That's a good tease. Roy, any thoughts on that? Just
Yeah, I get, like, with grading with PSA to resub, I know a lot of people say PSA is please submit again. But yeah, if you're not scared to, put a little bit of money down, because that's what scares a lot of, I guess regular people, is they're like, oh, I got a 9. Okay, I'm just going to sell it. But the savvy ones, the ones that are a little bit more risky, but also they kind of know what they're looking for when they look at cards, they'll take the risk. And, whether it's sending it regular and you're paying $100 Canadian or $70 US or whatever it is, they're willing to take that risk. And does it pay off? Let's say it's like a $300 card raw, and then PSA 10 is like 3,000. Let's say it's 2,000. If you really think it could get a 10 and you try 4 times, it's still worth that risk, right? It's if it doesn't hit the 10, then you're out. But you have to look at it as a whole level, like a whole playing field. Yeah, you're gonna get some outs sometimes. You're gonna lose, but as long as you're up overall, I think that's the risk you're willing to take.
Yeah,
you could still win, right?
The math makes sense, but well, you and I know this is what's wrong with grading, right?
This is one of the many things that's wrong with grading, yes.
But the same card, and it could get a different grade.
If you see cards enough and you grade enough, you kind of know what you're looking for. So then when you do get that 9, you can, okay, I could understand why I got the 9. But if you do it often and you know what a 10 is, you take that risk, right?
No,
but
you know what I'm looking for? A real lenient grader. That's what I'm looking for. Okay.
Oh yeah, that's the hope. But if you don't do any prep or like any, looking at the card, seeing where the defects are, like Will, you're gonna come back with not a lot of 10s.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I have no idea when I'm sending off a card what grade it deserves. Yeah, but like you're saying, like there's, we saw Jeff Wilson, like he does a lot of PSA reveals, and it's just like, oh, I really thought this was a 9, or I really thought this was gonna 10, and this guy is like he is in the hobby. Like we're in the hobby. He's he's so deep in the hobby, and I just think that's a problem, right? Like you're saying, Roy, that there are people who know really well when they look at the card, they have a good idea, and so if they see there's a flaw in the grading, they'll crack it and resubmit because they feel confident about that. The problem with that is it shouldn't be on us to be the experts. it should be the people grading it that are the experts. Like, they should be the ones that are like able to properly grade this the first time.
Yeah, no, I understand. I understand your point, but that's what you get when you have human graders, right? There's such a fine line between a 9 and like a very strong 9 and a very weak 10. It's a very fine line, right? So
it's a difference between a grader that's in a bad mood and a grader that's in a good mood. I'm just, you know why I'm bitter? Because I'm on a string of PSA 9s lately. Oh man, I can't buy a 10 these days. So I might need Roy's help too.
That's why you got to keep on.
Clark,
you have to
you
like
can
sub month, week after.
you just keep submitting.
I don't have that Chris. I don't have that Chris Sale budget. Okay, I'm not on a max contract, unfortunately.
But yeah, it's always nice to have deeper pockets where you could take that risk, and even if you lose, you're like, whatever. I tried. I'll just buy the 10.
Oh man, I don't know how we got into that conversation, but I guess it all ties in with a lot more people coming into it, contributing to the backlog. I don't want to blame, of course, I don't want to blame those guys, but that's just, that's where one of the repercussions of a growing hobby. So I want to just bring that point up quickly. Okay, good discussion. And like Will teased, he's going to talk about something that's been on his mind in our next segment. It's called Just a Thought. All right, I love doing this segment with you guys because it's kind of fun, and I know we haven't done this in a while, but this is when we think of or suggest any new ideas for the hobby that we think might improve it. It could be wacky, it could be out there. This is what this segment is for. And maybe we just disagree with any of the ideas that each of us come up with. But it's kind of like a workshopping session. All right, so yeah, go ahead, Will. I know you got one ready to go. Let's hear it. What's your just a thought suggestion or idea?
This is my just a thought. This is the way we fix grading. Okay.
Whoa, okay. That's a big goal,
yeah.
Right?
So I'm going to there's 4 pillars to grading, and I'm going to call it the sexy grading. Okay? SECC. These are the things that we all know. Surfaces, edges, centering, and corners. That's how grading companies grade their cards, based on those 4 criteria.
Yeah.
I think we need to revamp what is a 10, what is a 9. It needs to be clearer understanding of what makes your card a 10, what makes your card a 9, what makes it an 8. So this is my suggestion. A 10 is no visible damage of any kind. Like when you hold that card, you or anyone else cannot see any damage. You don't see any creases, you don't see any white, like, the Pokemon cards on the edges. You don't see like a crease, like a bent corner. There's no visible damage to the naked eye. Mm-hmm. Then you have 10 plus. 10 plus, you put the card under magnification. Like I watch a lot of Instagram videos of like these guys who fix up Pokemon cards and then resubmit them and whatever. And I'm always amazed because when they show you the zoomed in the magnified view, you see a lot of damage and a lot of dirt that you never saw before. So I recognize that there's got to be something that's above a 10. The 10 plus is when you zoom in 2x or 3x magnification. There's no damage. There's no dirt. There's nothing on the surface. There's nothing on the edges. No corner issues. No centering issues. Yeah. That's 10 plus. A 9 is if you have... so like in BGS, you can have True Gem, which is 4 9/5s. Mm-hmm. Right? But then what's a Min Gem? 3 9/5s and 1 9.
Yeah.
And then if you have 2 9/5s and 2 9s, your total grade drops to a 9. So in that same way, a 9 would be 2 points of damage to either of any of the 4
subgrades,
quadrants, subgrades, pillars, and then so on and so forth. You work your way down. And 8 is 4 minor imperfections, or maybe it's 1 major imperfection, like a crease or like a really dinged up corner. and then maybe a 7 is like 6 points of damage, and you just keep going down all the way. It doesn't really matter because beyond a 8, 9, 10, nobody really cares, especially if we're talking modern cards. I think there just needs to be better transparency and better understanding of what makes a card the grade that it is. Which leads me to my next just a thought. I know I'm dominating the mic tonight.
I love it.
I asked ChatGPT, what are the major gripes of hobbyists, like collectors, in the hobby space with grading? And ChatGPT said there's 4 major things. One is turnaround time, and you kind of touched on that. There's a 14 million card backlog. People are really frustrated with that. There's frustrations with consistency. So just like we were saying, you submit it 4 times, you get 4 separate different grades. Maybe the 4th time you get the 9 or the 10 that you were waiting for. People are frustrated that they have to do that. Then there's the whole issue of transparency, where it's like, why? And I kind of talked about that a little earlier. And then the last thing that ChatGPT highlighted was price. People are really frustrated that they're paying such high prices and stuff like that. So very quickly, I want to tackle each one. Turnaround time. How do we fix that? How do we solve that problem? It's very obvious. You have to hire more people. You have to train them better. And you have to start using AI and technology in a better way. It boggles my mind that PSA has not already invested heavily into using AI, because it's just helpful to their business, right?
So I don't know if this is true or a rumor, but I heard PSA is starting to use AI for their centering only.
Yeah, that's great, because that's something that a ruler can figure out immediately, right? Like any AI can just look at that and figure out the centering immediately. It takes no time whatsoever. And then,
but if you think about it, it doesn't take them time. If you heard that, there's an interview with like an ex-PSA person. They don't take a lot of time to grade these cards anyway.
Yeah,
so
which is a really big problem, because if I had a calculator calculating arithmetic, like I gave it 100 numbers, or I plug it into an Excel sheet, if it gives me the answer in half a second, I'm really happy, because I know Excel or my calculator is doing the job it's supposed to do. If I gave 100 numbers to Roy and he gave me an answer immediately, I'd be like, no, Roy, that's wrong. You did not.
What do you mean? I'm doing the abacus counting in my head.
Right? So you let AI, you let computers, you let technology go through those things, and at the end you have a human grader who just oversees it, or just reviews the grade that AI spits out, right? So there is still some human element to it, but why are you not letting technology do the bulk of the work to do that? And so if you do that, it should lower.
I actually think it may take longer for the AI to do it. That's probably why they don't want to go into.
What do you mean?
Because
then they need to pay for the subscription for ChatGPT and stop using the free ChatGPT.
No. So this is just me thinking on the top of my head. I don't know how long each card takes, but for a grader, they take it out of the sleeve, they look at it, they look at the front, they look at the back, they make their grade, right? But for AI, they have to take it out, they have to put it on the machine goes under, it takes time to retract and right back into the cameras. It's not like it's instant. Once it's in place, because there's probably a motor or something that you have to put the card in that exact spot, and then they have to flip it over. So that whole process is probably taking longer than a grader grading a single card by their eye, in my opinion.
I don't think so, because you can put
if I take a card,
ChatGPT and you can take a picture.
Yeah, but ChatGPT, there's no physical aspect to ChatGPT. But in grading, there's a machine, right? You have to put it on the conveyor belt or whatever in the exact spot.
Yeah.
The conveyor belt then has to go back into the system. That probably takes time, because if it's too fast, it might make the card loose or whatever. So it goes back into the machine, and the machine does its work, comes back out, takes time. The grader then has to flip the card, goes back in. And I think the whole process probably takes longer per card for the grader.
I feel like Roy's using very old technology.
No, have you? There's videos of like the people doing the tag grading. You could see like how fast that machine goes in and out.
But at the same time, like those machines work 24 hours a day. So.
No, they don't, because a person has to put the card on the thing.
Yeah, so you work in 3 8-hour shifts.
Yeah, so what's saying that they're not doing that right now with PSA?
I don't know, but I can guess because they have a 14 million card backlog.
You can assume.
Yeah.
But
okay,
I mean...
let's just... Oh, sorry,
okay.
you're going to say.
No, I don't understand why it's got to be that slow. I'm not buying it still, because you just have one guy just pile it up, and then
no, but it doesn't work like that. It's not like, because if you're stacking cards in like a system where it automatically eject, there's like the card can get damaged, whether the machine malfunctions or whether the rollers impress on the card. There has to be some type of.
But you could put the card in some sort of encasement, and then
how
the
does
machine
it
would
there?
move that encased card.
No, but
then
there's
be able
so much
scan it.
So imagine you had $150,000 card, right? Like a Mickey Mantle, and that automatic process of taking it out of the encasement malfunctions because it's a machine, and it damages your card. Are you ever going to grade with them again?
No, but what I'm saying is you encase it so that it's protected, but the digital scans or whatever machines they're using to take the high-res images of it, it can take it through that penny, like let's just say it's a penny sleeve or whatever.
No, but it can't, because then there's flaws on the sleeve. There might be a little dust particle.
Use AI to just get rid of that, see through it. You could say like, this is the card material, this is sleeve material. Right, AI can figure that out.
No, I don't. There's so many. Maybe in like, not now. There's no way. The card has to be on its raw edge or surface for these computers to see what's wrong.
Sure. Even if that was the case for now, I feel like the amount of time it takes the human grader to take the card out, physically hold the card, look at the card, examine the card, is the same as the grader taking the card out, placing it very carefully on whatever surface, and then bunch of cameras
that's exactly what happens.
Bunch of cameras that never touch the card, examine it, take pictures, high-res scans. They look at the bumpiness of the edge of the surface and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, so the lights and the photo taking and the processing.
Yeah,
that's really quick. But
yeah.
It's the process prior to that takes long.
But I think Will's point is you're doing that anyways.
Yeah.
So you save the time in the actual grading process with the lights and camera.
Yeah, I mean, okay. I don't think you guys are understanding my point, because I think it takes a card to grade with AI longer than you think. And yeah, eventually, hopefully, we could get to the point where you just stack 1,000 cards and it'll just automatically do it. But currently, that's not how it's being done. Not at TAG, at least.
Yeah, maybe we need to do some more research and see the TAG video that you're referencing.
Let's get an inside tour of TAG first, and then
so we'll hold off on that part for now. Okay. So the second frustration is consistency, right? So if you use AI and tech a little bit better, I mean, one of the things that people really appreciate about TAG is that it should be, and it usually is, a more consistent grade. And I think one of the ways that you can also train your employees or the graders a little bit better is you have digital scans, you have baselines, or maybe the AI is using baselines where you are setting boundaries of what is a gem mint card, what is a 9, all that kind of stuff. So then you have more consistency. But one of the things with digital imaging and stuff like that, which is available because PSA does it for their higher tiers, and I think TAG, or who's the company that gives you full high-res images?
PSA does too. PSA and TAG.
No, but like one of the, like, I think it's TAG, right? Like for every card.
PSA does it now too.
For every card?
Yeah, they do high res scans.
Yeah, so then with those high res, you get the high res scan, and then you get a grading report, which leads me to my next thing: transparency that people are frustrated about. I really appreciated hearing that they were creating this backlog tracker, because one of the most frustrating things when you go to the DMV or you go to the hospital is you're just sitting in the waiting room and you never know when your name's going to be called next, or when you're on hold with Rogers or Bell or Verizon or AT&T, whatever. You don't know when they're going to answer or when they're going to get you next. When you go to the waiting room and you see that your number is 49 and or at Costco, you're like, oh, I really want my hot dog and pop. Oh man, I'm number 98 and they're at number 30. That you have to wait. So I appreciate, it's still frustrating, but I appreciate that I know where I am in the queue.
Yeah.
So I do like that they've been doing that to increase transparency. But I think the most transparent thing that people want is grading reports. And I honestly don't know how they don't have grading reports for all cards. It might take some extra time, but that's the stuff that us collectors are happy to have to wait an extra day, extra week, if you're going to give me full grading reports. Or at least the AI spits out a grading report. So you know exactly what the damage is. And then you also know how to argue it. Right? You can say
it's already there. If you want the grading report, you got to pay for it. And if not, then if you expect that for every single card, the backlog of 14 million would be like 100 million, because they have to take all that extra time to put in those grading reports.
AI.
Well, like I said, I think yes. AI should be able to do that pretty easily. I've been told from a lot of teaching friends of mine, teachers, that AI has transformed their lives, because every end of year they have to write 35 report cards, and I have teacher friends that tell me it takes them 5 minutes to give all the report cards, because they just input all the data for all their students, and AI just very nicely, very professionally just writes a report and explains what your students why your students' grades are what they are, what they need to improve, all that kind of stuff. So I think there needs to be a better level of transparency. And then finally, the last frustration is price. And I think a lot of people are upset with the price increases that have happened. But honestly, I think that price probably should increase. But price increase should be a reflection of quality of service. And that's what PSA is. They are a service industry. And so if they're saying hey, we have to increase the price because we are implementing these quality assurance pillars, right? Or these different methods and these different things that are going to improve the grading system. It's okay, increase the price because your service is getting better. But right now we're paying more, not because we're getting better service. We're paying more. And especially when you get upcharged, you're actually paying more as a tax, right? If you said, the bulk of the price increase, if you want to go from this tier, bulk, value tier to express tier, is because we will turn it around for you within a week. It's okay, that's fine. Even in my industry, I've got installations set up 3 weeks in advance. If you want to jump that line, if you want me to get your stuff done in 2-3 days, if it's possible, I can do it, but I have to charge you because I got to bump everyone else back. If that's why the price increase is the price increase, then I understand. If the price increase is because, the value of your card is so much higher than what we expected and insurance costs a little bit more, okay. But let me tell you, I go to Mexico with my family and I get traveler's insurance and I pay $25 a day on the high end for that trip. And if I die, my kids and my wife, they get $1 million. They don't have to worry about my burial. They don't have to worry about transporting my body, the cemetery. Everything's paid for because I got traveler's insurance. Uh-huh. Why am I paying more for Victor Wembanyama Kaboom PSA 10 insurance? Because it graded a PSA 10 and now it's really valuable. It's there's no card that is more valuable than human life, right? So why am I paying so much for insurance? Yeah.
That's the one thing I had a question about, because when you get upcharged, I'm usually happy because I know I'm getting my value. But I got upcharged at Expo. So what insurance am I paying if I'm just picking up the card from them just grading it? That made no sense to me. Exactly. I was like, huh?
And so the most frustrating thing is I think a lot of people were upset with Jeff Wilson because when he was defending and he was like, oh, I love getting upcharges and we as a community should love getting upcharges and stuff like that. It's like, no, you're not increasing the value. You actually, like PSA, because you gave it a 10, you didn't improve the sexiness of the card. You didn't improve surface or edges or centering or corners. What you did is you encapsulated it, and then so people be like, oh, but it increases the monetary value of the card and whatever. It's like, but if you're willing to pay for that, you're actually just paying a tax on like for example, when I was buying and selling my home, I had to have a home appraiser come. Now, if that home appraiser comes to my house and after appraising it, he pulls me aside and goes, hey, Will, I can write a much higher number for the appraisal for you, but I want you to give me a cut of the extra money you're going to make. You know what I'm going to say? I'm going to say yes. Of course. Let's do it. I want to make a lot of money. But you know what that is? That's illegal. That's a conflict of interest. That home appraiser is not allowed to do that. And I am not allowed to do that. It's an illegal thing to do. And that's the problem with PSA. It's too much of a conflict of interest. It's too shady. It's not transparent. And it's very dangerous that they should dictate how much increase in value there is. And then they get to get a cut of it. It's really weird. It's super dangerous.
I agree.
In my opinion.
I agree with that.
Yeah,
I never understood upcharges, but you know,
and like
Jeff,
it's like we're getting tricked into thinking that we should be happy with it. It's like you go to the casino, and if you win at blackjack, you might tip the dealer $5, you know, but that dealer didn't really do anything. Like he or she is not really impacting your cards. Your cards are your cards, and your decision making is your decision making. So you're tipping the dealer not because he or she performed a service that increased value, but if suddenly the casino's like, hey, if you win $1,000, we get to take $100 of it, the casinos would go bankrupt because people will be up in arms. Every industry, people are like, this doesn't make sense. But in card grading, we're like, yeah, give me upcharges. I love it. They don't deserve that money. They haven't done anything to deserve extra money. And actually getting extra money, I would argue, is a conflict of interest and it's borderline illegal. Oh, wait. I have one final thing to say.
Okay.
So to end this all, to wrap this all up in a nice bow, I'm honestly just waiting for Fanatics to take over a grading company or launch their own grading company. I fully believe it's happening. I think they've been sitting back and watching what's been going on in this dumpster fire that is PSA and BGS and SGC, and they're just biding their time for when they take over. We've entered into the age of empires, and the emperor who has been on the throne needs to be taken over, albeit by a new emperor. And so to end this, I quote...
That would be even a bigger conflict of interest. If the card manufacturer can become their own grader.
Right.
Yes. But to quote the incredible Kent Brockman, esteemed news reporter from Channel 6 News from The Simpsons, he said this: the Corvair spacecraft has apparently been taken over, conquered, if you will, by a master race of giant space ants. It's difficult to tell from this vantage point whether they will consume the captive Earthmen or merely enslave them. One thing is for certain: there is no stopping them. The ants will soon be here. And I, for one, welcome our new insect overlords. So, Fanatics, I welcome you. We at Cards to the Moon, we welcome you, and we are eager for your arrival. The end.
Wow. That was amazing, Will.
And that's why our podcast is 2 hours today.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, this is going to be a shorty today. And then it's like, just a thought.
Just an essay.
Wow, that's great. I loved every second of it. And Roy, I know you've interjected here and there, but any further rebuttals? Because when we initially had this idea to do it on this pod, we were kind of going back and forth on our WhatsApp chat. But any holes you can find or any rebuttals that you have for Will?
I mean, well, to the last one, like I said, like that would be the biggest conflict of interest. If a car manufacturer can be a grader, they would just carefully manufacture cars that are going to be all perfect and then sell them on the market without anybody knowing, and then just double dip on their profits.
It's business.
Shady business. Illegal business. But yeah, I don't know. Like, as much as I, like PSA, like, it's because you know what you're getting for the most part. Yes, they make errors. Yes, there are cards that are PSA 10s that should not be. But if you look at every single PSA 10, 90% are probably very accurate in terms of PSA 10s, which is like, it's not the best odds. You would want it closer to 95 to 100%, which hopefully in the future AI could kind of help. But for the most part, you know what a PSA 10 is. And that's why there's so much value in a 10. Like a CGC 10, people are like, oh, it's a 10. It's like, no, that's not a 10. That would be like an 8 to a 9 in a PSA. Pristine's a little different. And yeah, back to his original point, which was you're just diluting a PSA 10, or like you want a 10 to be something that your eyeballs can see. Like, whose eyeballs, right? Just because you can't see it doesn't mean I can't see a flaw, right?
Someone with 20/20 vision. So Roy, you have 20/20 vision. So
yes,
if you don't see damage, then none of us will see damage.
But that's why I do see damage, and that's why I only submit the ones that I think that don't have the damage.
Yeah,
and that's why my gem rate is probably, when I submit, like 75 to 80%.
Yeah, but you'll never have that situation where you're like, whoa, why is this a 7? You'll never
get that.
Because if you understand the parameters and you have 20/20 vision, you have good eyes, and you have the experience, then like we were talking about earlier about people who are able to kind of game the system by looking at the cards and really understanding how it works, that should be available to everyone to be able to do. To be able to understand consistently, oh, I see why this is not going to get a 10. But, a lot of times you're sending cards in. You're like, could be a 9, could be a 10. I hope it's a 10.
Yeah, so I'm taking the risk. So I'm willing to take that risk and potentially get a 10 because it could.
But right? I just feel like
your grading system of a 10 is exactly what CGC is. You're saying, okay, naked eye, I can't see it, so I want a 10. If I want to get your 10 plus, that's what Pristine 10 is on a CGC. So if you want those 10s, you should submit to CGC, not PSA. Because why would you want to dilute a card that's a 10? You want a 10 to hold a certain standard of quality, right?
Yeah. I'm just saying.
But you're saying, oh, I'm okay with getting a 10 because I can't see it with my naked eye. But the card isn't a 10 then.
In the current system.
It would be, but why would you want to dilute a card? You want a 10 to be the best quality possible, right? That's why it's considered a 10 or a 10 plus or whatever it may be. You don't want to dilute that product and have your 10s actually be 8.5s, 8s, 9s.
Yeah.
Okay. How about if you just call it a 9 then? Let's just like readjust the grading system. Naked
That's
eye.
exactly what PSA is, though. That's what they're offering.
Is it though? I look at my Yamamoto home field advantage. I got a PSA 9. I don't know. That looks like a 10 to me.
I'll take a look at it.
So I think all those things kind of have to work together, right? Because like we're saying, like, yeah, you're not wrong. Like, none of us are experts. But I think if there's like a little bit better understanding of what the rules are, but also if afterwards the grader who is the expert has a little report, it's like, oh, okay, they saw this damage that I didn't see.
It would just take so much longer. Imagine writing a report after every card you grade.
I know, but
right?
I would argue that that's how the system always should have been.
An AI would make it quick. That's not.
Yeah.
Not for Roy. He doesn't believe it.
I do. It's just there's a reason PSA holds, has a premium. It's not because they do upcharges. It's not because of this and that. It's because for the most part, with utmost confidence of why it's a 10. Yes, there's the odd case where you're like, how did that get a 10? Some of them are mislabeled. Some of them just kind of passed by, whether it was dim lighting or whatever. But for the most part, you know what a 10 is.
But
and that's why
that's the problem though. Like, PSA wasn't the premier grading company even 10 years ago, right? You would argue it was BGS. So it's not that I have a problem with PSA's grading. I have a problem part of the problem, the biggest problem, is that we've all drank the Kool-Aid and decided, oh, we are all going to value this PSA simply because it's PSA. But PSA doesn't have better graders than BGS did. And it definitely didn't have better graders than SGC did, right? SGC, their whole thing was like, we are the premier vintage graders. Like, nobody grades as well as we do, or as critically or as accurately as we do. So all these grading companies, like, if you're saying like, okay, what's that color one? HGA?
Yeah.
It's like, if you're like, oh, okay, HGA doesn't hold the value of BGS, PSA, SGC. It's like, okay, I understand why. Because they don't have that track record or that history of being a good grading company. So it's like, okay, you can devalue their cards if it's in that holder. But BGS, PSA, SGC, in terms of grading ability or like objectivity, I would argue that they're all equally good. So that's a whole big thing with PSA.
Yeah, no, like I'm not totally opposed to what you're saying. I agree. There's definitely flaws with PSA, and sometimes and a lot of it is marketing. But
yes,
yeah,
it's all our fault.
At the end of the day, what are you gonna do? We can't do anything as individuals. We can't even rally and say no sub May or whatever it was.
I know.
It doesn't happen.
They got more subs. they're like, oh yeah, no sub May. Let me show you. We're gonna close service, and you're gonna send the most cards we've ever received.
That's crazy. True. Yeah. No, I love the rant of the insight and the thought you put into this new grading system that you came up with. If you ever need capital funding, I don't have it, but if you ever get it, I will be the first to grade with you because I want to be number 00001. Okay.
Just waiting for
be the one and only card graded.
You know what? Fanatics can hire me. Fanatics grading company can hire me.
Will for hire, yeah. Fanatics. You hear that? I will add one more thing before we move on. I'm not even going to go with my just a thought. I'll save it for our next episode that we have together. But I do agree that there should be greater transparency in why the grade is what the grade is ultimately. And I know you mentioned, Roy, they do have it at the more premier or at the express level, which I did get at, I think it was at Fanatics Fest or at the Expo when I dropped off my Bobby Witt Super for the end of show grading, and I did express, and I got notes back, and all the notes said was white on corner. I'm like, what? That was 3 words? That's what I'm paying the express service for? And I look at it, I'm like, which corner, first of all? Because I don't see any, whitening that was so evident that it got a PSA 8 ultimately. But anyway, a little more than 3 words, huh? That's what AI can do, write a paragraph.
I know. I do really like Tag, not only for their nicer looking slabs, but because you get the full in-depth.
The report.
Yeah, report, but that has its flaws too. But I won't go there.
Tag, you had your chance. You had your chance to get us
Seriously.
to all fall in love with you. I don't know what you're doing.
PSA shut down? Well, we're shutting down too.
PSA raised prices. We're raising prices too.
That's another episode altogether. Yeah. All right. Let's finish this episode with our regular weekly segment we call Pick One. All right. I know, Will, you just talked a whole bunch, but do you want to start things off with your Pick One for us?
Sure. Because I was so passionate about preparing my notes for this rant, I completely forgot to send you guys my Pick One. But my Pick One is actually just a return to kind of my first love. Today I'm wearing my baseball shirt. I'm wearing my baseball cap. You know, we talk a lot about WWE and a lot about Pokemon when the three of us are together. But I want to go back to the roots of this podcast and the roots of my first love. So we're going to talk about baseball. There's two players who have very similar stats, and I'm going to share them with you right now. One is Aaron Judge, and the other is Mike Trout. So they're both about the same age. I think Mike Trout's a half year older. Mike Trout has 90 WAR, whereas Aaron Judge has 64. They have the same batting average, 291, and OPS for Aaron Judge of 1.022, and for Mike Trout, 972, which is like, it's ridiculous. I think Yordan Alvarez is the only other active player who has a higher OPS than Mike Trout. Other than that, it's Mike Trout and it's Aaron Judge. Judge has 385 home runs and Trout has 421. But Trout started playing at a very young age, so he's got a lot more games played. Judge is a 7-time All-Star. Trout is 11-time. They're both 3-time MVPs. Judge has had a batting title and 5 Silver Sluggers. Mike Trout has had 9 Silver Sluggers. The most important stat for both players is neither has won a championship, which is probably the biggest knock on both of their careers and potentially what will limit them from ever being viewed as the greatest players of all time. But outside of championships won, their stats are just at the top of the field in terms of OPS. Like, they are, and WAR, they're near the tops. So what I've got is the 2017 Topps Aaron Judge Gold PSA 10 versus the 2011 Topps Update Gold Mike Trout. So it's both
11?
Huh? What'd I say?
2011 team.
Oh, I said 2011 team. It's late at night. I need to sleep. I'm drunk on all my grading power.
Sorry,
but yeah, the 2011
Topps.
Mike Trout versus the 2017 Aaron Judge. Both are gold. Both are PSA 10s. Both have a pop of about 50. The Judge has 48. The Trout has 53. But the big difference is the Trout last sold in August of last year for $4,000 Canadian. And the Mike Trout sold in May for $9,500. So the price is different on it, but if you were to invest in one of those cards, which one would you invest in for the future?
Trout's not rookie card, right?
It's his rookie card.
Or sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean Judge.
Both rookie cards,
22.
both gold out of whatever year it is. So 2017 and out of 2011.
And it's not chrome. It's
They're
obviously
not
not
the chrome.
from...
It's both the papers. So they're like the exact comp to each other. Like card comparison to each other. Yeah.
Is that? I mean, for me, I'd probably go Judge. I always thought Trout's game was kind of boring. Yes, he gets the wins, he gets all that, but you know, chicks dig the long ball, right? Judge can smash more than Trout can, right? And he's on a better team. Like, he's on a team that's actually desired, like the Yankees. It's a historic franchise where Trout is on the Angels. And that's probably why I would go Judge. And he's playing a lot better in recency. Whereas Trout kind of has that like negative stigma of like, oh, can he play a full year? Is he going to get hurt again? You know, when he's healthy, he plays well, but he's never healthy. So he kind of has that going for him as well. So I'll go Judge.
It's funny because
Ironically-
Judge is starting to get that said
Yeah,
about
Judge is
him
hurt
too.
for a couple months.
Yeah.
He's out for a couple months at least. And Trout's, knock on wood, healthy. Hit his 17th homer yesterday. It was a bomb. Did you see that? I can't quit Mike Trout.
Oh.
It's a personal bias. You guys know this. Anyone that listened to this podcast over the last 5-6 years knows I can't quit Trout. Although, I'm starting to give my respect to Aaron Judge a lot more and more so on the pod. But if you're gonna put Trout versus Judge, this was the year I was waiting for, from Trout, and it's reflecting the value of some of his, more high end rookie cards. It's got a nice boost, and if he just, please get traded. Please get traded to a contender. That's all Hey, if Luka can get traded to the Lakers, Trout can get traded to somewhere unexpected. So that's what I'm really hoping for and banking on, because we know the Angels aren't going to win anytime soon. But all those things, for all those reasons, I'm sticking with Trout.
Great. One of the crazy things is Trout has always been recognized as the GOAT, right? Or as one of the GOATs, and especially in modern baseball. But like Roy's saying, he's like the quietest 40 home run hitter of all time. Like, he always gets really great stats. He plays a premier defensive position. But does he have any playoff games? Like, have the Angels made the playoffs with him?
He's got one postseason.
One postseason with when Pujols was on the team. Like I think it's pre-Shohei, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
It's just like Roy's saying, the Angels are just, I don't know what's going on with that organization and that team, and he's never going to escape them. And I just feel like the stink is on Mike Trout. Like, it's not ever going to go off him. So much so that I am picking Aaron Judge, who is a
Wow.
divisional rival, and I never...
How dare you?
I don't like his swing. I don't like the way he looks. But
that's going.
I have to say, personality, he seems to be a really genuine and good and humble
Nice guy.
person. So I do appreciate that about him. But just the fact that he's a Yankee, I can't believe that I'm gonna pick the Aaron Judge, just because I think long term it holds better investment value. Because I think as history continues, people will forget Mike Trout. And God forbid the Yankees actually
maybe
win a
not forget
championship.
him.
Goodness.
They will.
I mean, they won't forget him.
Wow.
But
No, it'll be like how everyone's like, oh, LeBron, because the stats are there. Everyone's gonna look at Judge as like the GOAT because he hit 60 bombs and he hit 70 bombs, and they're gonna remember those stats. They're not gonna remember
top 5 Yankee, right?
Huh?
Ever.
Yeah.
It'd be like top 5 Yankee ever.
Yeah, and if he ever wins one,
got
it's
that going
like
for
it's
him.
like Jalen Brunson. It's like Aaron Judge wins one, he'll be forever cemented
Statue.
as, yeah.
Yes.
So that's why I'm picking Aaron Judge, because I think
Wow.
he's got a better chance to hit more home runs in his career, and it hurts me to say there's a chance that they could win a championship.
They're definitely closer than the Angels, that's for sure. All right, good one. Roy, you got one for us?
Yeah, so with the World Cup going on right now, there is a Pokemon card that has Pikachu wearing a Team Japan jersey. It's a 2014 Team Japan Pikachu. I think it's sponsored by Adidas, or has Adidas collab. And a PSA 10, it's sold on June 7th for $7.2K US.
Wow.
With a pop of 808. So that's about 10K Canadian. And then we have Lionel Messi, one of the GOATs, if not the GOAT, with a hat trick yesterday.
He's the GOAT. That hat trick.
Yeah.
Think so.
So it's his Donruss Kaboom, I think 2025, 2026. So that sold yesterday for 8.1K USD. So just a little bit over the Pikachu, but also to compare, I think a BGS 9.5 sold, I think, last week for about the same price as this raw. So which one would you rather have? This Adidas Pikachu PSA 10 or this Messi Kaboom? And he's wearing his Argentina outfit, his uniform, rather than his club team. So
We don't. Oh, it's not graded, right? It's raw.
yeah, this one was raw. I mean, we could go back and just say, do you want the BGS 9.5, which was a min gem that sold last week on the 11th. So 9.5, 9.5, 9.5 with surface of a 9.
So for me, Roy, I gotta say this is my favorite pick one you've ever submitted. I think it's just so like it's so relevant to what we're experiencing right now. We all have World Cup fever, and it's just off the back of Messi's hat trick to take the lead in goals in the World Cup. Like Messi is the GOAT, and that's a beautiful card in his Argentina jersey. But this Pikachu, and like it's also Team Japan, which is the rival of Team Korea. So I should hate it, and I should look down. It should lose points. But I'm looking at this card, and it is so cute. It is such a beautiful card, and I'm just sad that they didn't come up with each country having their own Pikachu in their jersey. I think that would have been such a cool collab if they did, like Pikachu in a Korea jersey, or maybe a different Pokemon who's in a Korea jersey, and then Italy gets a different Pokemon and all that kind of stuff. But for me, I love this Pikachu. I think it's such a great looking card, so I picked that one.
Wow.
Yep.
Man, a lot of wows for Will today in this episode. Wow. The grading went wow. Aaron Judge, Pikachu. Oh man. Yeah, I like this one too. I'm kind of going back and forth while you're talking. Well, like which one do I like better? Which one would I, not mind having on my shelf for 8K? I feel like with Messi, there's other kabooms that he has, right?
Yeah.
But it's probably the only one in his Argentina jersey.
Really?
I feel like national kits are way more, or international kits are just way cooler than club jerseys.
Is that true though? See, I feel like I've seen.
Well, now we're all gonna have to research.
No, he has another Kaboom, I think, in Argentina.
Yes, he does have another one. 22-23 season. He's wearing his Argentina uniform. So there's that.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So there's another one with him in the Argentina uniform. And I know he has it on other uniforms. I can't believe this. I'm saying that I'm going to go for the Pikachu for that reason. For that reason alone. I mean, oh wait. Does Pikachu have other soccer cards?
He does, but not in any kits. So there's a first print, a second print, but he's not wearing any jersey.
Oh, okay. He's just regular.
And then
Pikachu.
there's a futsal on the ball. So I actually have it on my desk right now. So there's this one here, which is
that's cute too.
Kind of not as nice. I think he's wearing an England shirt. So I think that he has 4 soccer cards, but the other 2 he's not wearing any jersey at all. But
now it's tough. What year was that? The Pikachu?
2014.
Okay, I'll go with the Pikachu. I'll go with the older card. Because the one you showed us is 25, 26, yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like that value might stagnate just because it's a newer card or grow more slowly. Whereas the Pikachu 2014's been around a while. Yeah. Pikachu. 2 for Pikachu. Is this the Pikachu sweep or is Roy gonna?
It's the Pikachu's. It is for the same reason because he has multiple kabooms. I wasn't even thinking of the Argentina jersey. Just he has so many kabooms that, and this was like the newest one of 2025, 2026. That it's not rare. Well, it is, but he has so many other variants that I would go for the Pikachu as well.
Good. Pikachu sweep. All right, we'll finish off with mine. I'd like to say for the record, I thought I might pick one first, so now it makes it look like I'm stealing Roy's World Cup idea. Okay. Because mine is Lionel Messi, his rookie 71 bis, his most arguably his most famous rookie card. I believe I gave you the BGS 8 version that sold for just under 14K. Okay, and then
is that US or Canadian?
This is US. And the other one is Cristiano Ronaldo, who others consider might be the GOAT. His 2002 Panini rookie card. This one's in a BGS 8.5, so half a grade higher. Sold for just over 14K. So let's say 14K even. Which one would you rather have, Ronaldo or Messi? I feel like I know what you guys are going to say already.
Can I ask a question? Are they both like paper? They're both like it's not like one of them's chrome.
Yeah.
They're both paper. Yes.
Both paper.
So the Mega Cracks designation is not like a parallel or variation or anything.
Not in those years. For
Got it.
sure. Messi or Ronaldo? 8 versus 8.5 BGS.
I'm gonna go Messi. His game is just, I don't know. He's like a wizard out there. He has almost as many goals. Obviously, Ronaldo has more goals, but Ronaldo's like a striker, right? And Messi's more like a midfield. For him to have that many goals as a mid versus a striker is also a feat that's kind of crazy. But I don't know. Just watching him, it's just mesmerizing what he can do with the ball, how he looks out there, how he could just sway defenders and goaltenders. And like you know that other people agree, because look at the 8.5 that sold for Messi. It sold for more than Cristiano's or Ronaldo's 8.5.
Yeah, his 8 versus Ronaldo's 8.5. Yeah.
No. Messi's 8.5 versus Ronaldo's 8.5.
Oh, I see. Okay. Yeah.
Right?
Right.
So the value's already there. People also agree. And yeah. And he's won a World Cup. And he might win another one this year. So, whereas Portugal, I don't know.
Yeah. Good reasons.
My son's gonna hate me because he loves Ronaldo.
Tell him never to listen to this episode.
Funny enough, he started listening to on our car drives to soccer. He's like, "Can we play Cards to the Moon?" I'm like,
"Oh, nice."
Trying to find episodes without me, but then I clicked one with you.
Oh, that's awesome.
So, there's a lot of debate in the football world about who's the GOAT, and it's very passionate fan bases on both sides. I think, and hopefully I'm not going to upset anyone, I think Messi is clearly the better player. I think, like Roy's saying, like the way he controls the ball, the way he controls the game, the things that he's able to do is just like, it is mesmerizing and it's really commendable. And normally I'm a big fan of like the team over the individual, and I feel like Messi embodies that through and through. It's always about the team for him, and there's always been a little thing about Ronaldo being a little bit selfish. Like even this World Cup, they're like, he's a little too old. Should he have even been on the team and all this kind of stuff? But I love Ronaldo.
Oh,
I love Ronaldo more than Messi. I even love him off the field, like just for like his non-sports related stuff. I love him more than Messi. I don't know if it's because I grew up with a lot of Portuguese people as well, so I'm a little bit biased towards their team. But I grew up just loving Ronaldo. He was on Man United. I loved Man United growing up. I would watch Saturday morning soccer every Saturday morning. And
really?
I'd watch Man United.
Didn't know that about you.
Yeah, so, and Ronaldo was just like he wasn't a wizard like Messi is, but he would score goals like the most beautiful, the most difficult, the most acrobatic and artistic goals. So, yeah, for me, it's easy. It's not even close. It's Ronaldo. because I would love to have that card and display it forever.
And don't get me wrong, I'm not a Ronaldo hater. I love Ronaldo as well. So don't coming at me
I don't
saying
hate Messi. I watched yesterday's game or match, and I was just like, wow. Even my wife was watching with me. She's like, is he really this amazing? And I'm like, yeah, he's the GOAT.
All right. Roy doesn't hate Ronaldo, so Miles, don't worry. You're dead. He had to put in that disclaimer. And one word for Will's choice. That was quite a plot twist, but wow. One more wow.
Wow,
Okay.
wow.
I'm going the other way. I for the same reason, in the opposite direction as you, Will. I was always a Messi fan. I don't know. Maybe it's because he was a shorter guy. I'm like, you know what? He can relate to me. I can relate to him. And he could do a lot of things where he grew up with, I'm sure, a lot of naysayers, a lot of people who didn't believe he could do what he is doing right now. So I just like his story a lot more. So I've always grown up enjoying watching Messi play. And I think when it comes to championships or World Cup wins, that says a lot too, for me at least. I know there's a huge debate. I'm listening to a lot of sports radio now, and they're talking about who the best NBA basketball players are of all time. And Jalen Brunson catapulted up there because, he brought the Knicks a championship, and then, there's talks of like James Harden and all these other guys who've been in the league for so long. And that's a knock on their, resume. And it definitely pushes a lot of people's, rankings, his rankings down. So kind of the same reason. Ronaldo, until, and it kind of ties in with what you said with Aaron Judge and Mike Trout. They just don't get there. There's going to be some kind of asterisk. And so for that reason, I'm sticking with Messi, the greatest of all time. But you know what? I love Ronaldo too. Okay. So everyone there, all our Cards to the Moon Portuguese fans, we love you guys and rooting for your team as well. But yeah. Wow, another hour and a half episode with you guys. It's always a long, fun episode, but appreciate you guys being on the show as always, and appreciate all the fans and listeners to the pod. We'll have a brand new episode for you guys next week. Talk to you then. Bye.
Go Korea.
Go Canada.
Hey, thanks for listening to Cards to the Moon. We'd really appreciate you subscribing to our podcast wherever you listen to your podcasts. And you can also connect with each of us on Instagram at 5cardguys, or you can follow Hyung at Integrity Sports Cards, or John at TradeU at Recess. You can also check us out at 5cardguys.com. Thanks again, and hope to connect soon.